All right, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, I like to give all honor, praise, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahushua, by Hashem, Barak HaKodash. The honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect scattered abroad. All right, this is Brother Bob Rizal here with a lesson, and Lord willing, that's edifying. All right, so as you can see, I got the article pulled up. All right, it's on the website NY Post. Okay, and pretty much as you can see from the headline, it says SNAP recipients warned of food stamp cuts starting next week thanks to government shutdown. All right, and currently this is the the biggest headline right now. You got a lot of people who's dependent on getting the SNAP benefits, right? Food stamps, all right, things of that nature. Right, not just Jake, but the Edomites as well. They depend on the welfare. All right, and what you have happening is on these different social media platforms, you got these people ready to crash out. Pretty much going into if they don't get their food stamps for the next month. They're going to start looting, stealing, doing whatever they got to do to pretty much get to get by, right? To get food. Okay. So we're going to read the article. All right. And, we're going to get us some precepts. So this is, it says SNAP recipients in several states are being warned they won't get their food stamps starting next week if the federal government shutdown drags on. New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Texas, Illinois, and California are among the states that issued the warnings. The Trump administration has indicated to New York that it will not allow states to distribute federal funding for SNAP recipients, New York Governor Kathy Hochul said in a statement. Nearly 3 million New Yorkers who rely on SNAP could lose access to their benefits starting November 1st, according to her office. New Jersey officials were notified by the federal government that if the shutdown continues, November 2025 SNAP benefits may not be available on time, according to the state's Department of Human Services. It is unclear if SNAP benefits loaded on your family's first EBT card prior to October 31st, 2025 will be able to be used after November 1st, 2025. Yeah, so there you go. All right. So, let's see. Oh, actually, let's keep reading. The shutdown became the second longest in history on Wednesday as it entered its 22nd day. More than 5 million people in California and nearly 2 million residents of Illinois could be cut off from food stamps beginning November 1st, according to officials in both states. Our food pantries are going to be overwhelmed with SNAP participants who rely on that critical lifeline for support and for basic food assistance, Manny Lee of the Greater Chicago Food Depository told CBS News. So there you go. All right. And, these people are getting ready to crash out, man. All right. They're going to go in the stores, loot, steal, do whatever they got to do, and then you got Keisha, be a real aggressive about it, when all of this is a result of, our women, right? Well, a lot of it is a result of, our women, not willing to, being independent, so to speak, which really, most of these women who say that, are relying on, food stamps, government assistance, welfare, all right, and, say that, they too good to have a man, they don't need a man. Well, we coming into those times where, women are starting to realize that, they need a man. All right. Isaiah 4:1, is coming real soon. All right. You got women on the internet now, talk about, they willing to sell the box, man, But these are the type of times that we living in, man. These different women is ready to get, hey, is ready to find out, the reality. all right, you know, the situation, man. All right. But this is 2 Esdras 15:4. It says, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. All right. Now, the key that I want to get, all right, is, of course, the famine. All right. And, you know, that's part of the plagues, you know. So, you know, the people who rely on the government, you know, them taking back, you know, these different benefits that, you know, they depend on. All right, that's a part that can be a part of the famine as well. Okay. And, you know, it very, and, you know, the way things is going, all right, this could very well be a reason that, you know, these people take the MOTB. Let me get the Revelation 3:10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. All right, so there you go. All right, and, you know, these people who rely on this, you know, government assistance, you know, the people who's, you know, just pretty much going crazy, right, because they don't know how they're going to feed their family next month. These are going to be the first people lined up to take the CHIP, all right, to take the MOTB, all right, no, without a second thought, man, you know, in lines, man, you know, getting chipped up, you see. So we gotta, you know, stay, you know, circumspect, all right, because, you know, the times we in is you know, is evil. It's getting worse and worse, you know. And another thing too, you know, this could very well lead to, you know, civil unrest, all right, when people ain't able to feed themselves, feed their families, all right, they just, you know, they better go crazy, man, you know. So we just gonna have to, you know, stay tuned and see what happened, you know, starting next week, you know, because it's gonna get crazy out here, man, you know, especially, you know, if those government benefits, you know, is cut off. Okay. This is the book of Matthew 24:12. It says, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Yeah. And these people ain't gonna give a damn, man. All right. You know, you got people, you know, you got people nowadays, you know, it's just a story, you know, it was, of course, you know, the black women, right? You know, they got into an argument over, you know, one of them didn't say thank you after one held the door for the other, and it led into you know, one of them getting shot and killed, man. All right. So this is the love of many waxing cold. So imagine, you know, not being able to feed yourself, your family. All right. You know, hey, they gonna be willing to do whatever they got to do, you know, in order to get that food. All right. So let's keep reading, see if there's any more in the article. Say the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program is a federal government program that provides monthly assistance to low-income individuals and families. Known colloquially as food stamps, the benefits typically come in card form that can be used like cash for approved products such as fruits, vegetables, meat, dairy, bread, and cereals. Yeah, kind. All right, and hey, you know, instead of looking for the food stamps, you know, these women, you know, they're gonna be looking for a man to provide for them. All right, which, you know, that's how it should be. All right, but due to Esau, you know, breaking up, you know, the Jake family, you know, putting in the food stamps, all right, these women are puffed up to the point where, you know, they literally just getting, you know, a baby by a man, leaving them. All right, and, you know, just completely just depending on Section 8 food stamps. All right, you know, completely taking away, you know, pretty much taking away the provider, right? Which a man, he's supposed to, you know, work and provide for his family. All right, you ain't supposed to just be sitting down, collecting food stamps all day, living off the government. All right. The scriptures say you got to work to eat, Let's keep reading. The program, which is funded by U.S. Department of Agriculture and administered primarily by state government, serves around 42 million people nationwide, or 12.3% of the U.S. population. In 2000, just 6.1% of the U.S. population received SNAP benefits. All right. Let's see if there's anything else in here. Yeah, that's pretty much the rest of that article. But we could read that again. Matthew 24:12, it says, "And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold." All right. And hey, the type of times we coming in, brothers believe that, we very well could be in the beginning stages of Jacob's trouble, which right now, of course, in, prophetically, when you read, especially when you read this chapter, it's looking, it's looking pretty good, or looking like we could very well, be in that time, Matthew 24, let's read that real quick. Matthew 24:7, "For nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places." All right. And yeah, that's it. We're a famine, we're looking like we coming into a civil war soon. It's been civil unrest, politically, racially. All right. People against the government. All right. As we can see, in November, all right, it very well could be that could very well be the time where people are just, just going crazy. All right. Because when you take somebody, when you cut off somebody's water, so to speak, just cut off somebody, ability, to eat, right? People are just going to go crazy, man. All right. So we're just going to have to see, what'll happen. But, we already know through the spirit that, if them, if Esau, continues with the government shutdown, going into November, all right, and these people don't get their food stamps, all right, hey, that could be very, very well the start of, Jacob's trouble, really getting into Jacob's trouble. All right. But, that'll do it for the lesson. And Lord willing, it was edifying. So with that, I'd like to give all the honor and praise and glory unto Yahweh by Hashem, Yahushua by Hashem, Ruach HaKodesh. Shalom.